Have you ever noticed how retirement is usually talked about in big, comforting numbers? $1 million saved, a paid-off house, enough to live comfortably. But almost nobody talks about the one number that actually decides daily life in retirement: monthly income. Not net worth, not account balances, just how much money actually shows up every month to pay real bills. And when you look closely at that number, it's often far smaller and more fragile than people expect. Let's start with a familiar situation. Imagine a couple in their early 60s, living somewhere in the US Midwest or a medium-sized European city. They did what they were supposed to do. They worked for 35 to 40 years. They paid taxes. They saved something in retirement accounts. They avoided obvious financial disasters. Now they're retired. No luxury lifestyle, no yachts, just a normal, middle-class life. So how much income do they actually have each month? In the US, the average Social Security check is roughly $1,800 per month. In many European countries, public pension income lands somewhere in a similar range when adjusted for cost of living. Some retirees also have a small private pension or retirement account withdrawals. Let's be generous and add another $700 per month. That brings total monthly income to around $2,500. This is before we talk about lifestyle, before comfort, before emergencies, just raw income. Now let's talk about what happens to that money. First, taxes. Even in retirement, income isn't tax-free. Between income tax, healthcare contributions, and local taxes, let's say 10 to 15% disappears quietly. That takes $2,500 down to about $2,150. That's the real money available. Next, housing. Maybe the mortgage is paid off. That's the dream scenario everyone hopes for. But paid off doesn't mean free. Property taxes, maintenance, insurance, repairs that don't ask permission before showing up. In the US or Europe, even modest housing costs can easily reach $600 to $900 per month. Let's say $750. Now we're at $1,400 left. Transportation comes next. Many retirees still drive. Car payments might be gone, but fuel, insurance, maintenance, and replacement savings are still real. That's another $300 to $400 per month. Let's call it $350. Now we're down to $1,050. Healthcare. This is where numbers quietly get uncomfortable. Even with public healthcare systems or Medicare-style coverage, out-of-pocket costs add up. Medications, dental work, vision care, unexpected procedures, a conservative estimate, $300 to $500 per month. Let's choose $400. Now the remaining monthly income is $650. That $650 has to cover food, utilities, internet and phone, clothing, small travel, gifts, and anything unexpected. This isn't poverty, but it's not financial freedom either. It's a narrow lane. One surprise expense can wipe out an entire month. Now here's the uncomfortable part. Most people don't realize this reality until after retirement begins, because during working years, they think in terms of salary, not cash flow. Think back to a working professional earning $60,000 per year. After tax, that might be around $3,800 per month. Rent or mortgage, $1,200. Car payment, $400. Student loan, $300. Credit cards, $250. Subscriptions, lifestyle spending, pressure to keep up, another $500. Suddenly, saving $1,000 per month feels impossible, so they save $300, sometimes nothing, and they assume retirement will somehow be simpler. This is the hidden financial mistake. People plan retirement using annual income thinking, but retirement only works with monthly math. And monthly math is brutally honest. It doesn't care about job titles. It doesn't care how hard you worked. It doesn't care how responsible you felt. Only cash in, cash out. Why do smart people miss this? Psychology.
Permanent. Monthly expenses feel temporary. I'll pay off the car later. I'll save more next year. Once I earn more, this won't matter. But retirement flips the equation. Income becomes fixed. Expenses become unpredictable, and the brain struggles with that shift. Ignore this reality, and the long-term impact is subtle but serious. Retirees don't suddenly run out of money. Instead, they slowly shrink their life. They stop traveling. They avoid social activities. They delay healthcare. They hesitate to help family, not because they're irresponsible, but because monthly cash flow quietly limits choices. Now let's shift perspective. Financially intelligent people don't obsess over how much they'll have saved. They obsess over what their future monthly life costs. They ask calmer, less exciting questions. What does my ideal normal month actually cost? What expenses are flexible and which are permanent? What income streams will still exist when I stop working? They don't assume retirement will fix spending habits. They simplify life before income drops. They also understand something important. Retirement isn't about stopping work. It's about reducing financial pressure, and pressure is always monthly. Not yearly, not theoretical, monthly. This isn't meant to scare you, and it's not meant to make you feel guilty. It's meant to make you more aware, because awareness is quieter than motivation, but far more powerful. If this way of thinking helped you see retirement income more clearly, consider subscribing or liking the video. Not for hype, just for calm.